Hey guys, Fabricio here. Wow. And you really age. That feels about to go wild when you only understand that Barcelona needs a
How does someone get stuff done even when they have zero motivation? Now that's a very good question. Let's talk about it in this video. Like you, I've also been struggling with feeling motivated for a while. It's like I lost that drive I used to have. I haven't been feeling super excited about my work or the things I need to do lately. And it's definitely gotten harder to be productive. But somehow, most of the time, I still end up getting things done anyway. Sure, I put things off and even get stuck in a rut from time to time. But most days it's like I can't let my lack of motivation get in the way. So I'll share with you a few things that help me get stuff done even when I have zero motivation, and hopefully this can be helpful for you too. The first tip is start with something small. Sometimes when I'm feeling unmotivated, just thinking about the things I have to do feels overwhelming, especially if it's a big task. And the more I think about it, the more I don't want to do it. So the best solution I came up with is to just start doing something small and easy. Something that doesn't require much effort or focus. It could be something as simple as organizing my desk or cleaning my room. It doesn't really matter what it is. What's important is to start doing anything. And even if it doesn't seem like much, but when you complete these small tasks, you get a hit of satisfaction. That sense of accomplishment, no matter how small, gives you a bit of momentum. For example, when I have a video that will take 10 hours to edit, and I don't feel like jumping into the hard stuff right away and edit the video. So to get me going, I start by organizing all my files, putting them into the right folders. That's pretty easy to do, right? Or I break the whole editing process into small tasks. That might seem very small, but it gets me started and helps me focus. And once I've done a little work, I'll be willing to do a little more. I think the hardest part is starting, and once you get past it, there you go. So whenever you feel lazy or uninspired to do what you have to, pick something small. I don't know, clean your desk, do the laundry, exercise for 10 minutes, literally anything. That small action will build momentum, will get you moving, and you'll probably end up doing much more than you planned. Alright, second tip. Don't try to negotiate with yourself. Here's the thing, every time I try to negotiate with myself, it always leads to finding excuses and procrastinating. I tell myself things like, right now I don't want to do anything, but tomorrow I'll be more motivated, I'll wake up earlier and do all the work. And you know this because everyone has experienced it. Most of the time, the next day you feel exactly the same, if not even worse. And the work, it just keeps piling up. Then you try negotiating with yourself again, like, oh, today is Friday and in a couple hours I'll go out with some friends and I don't really have time right now, so Monday. Right, I'll do it on Monday. It's the start of a new week and I'll definitely have more energy. So you just keep putting things off again and again, and this can go on for days or even weeks. I used to fall into this trap all the time, fooling myself into believing that later I'll be more focused and somehow I'll just feel better. But it almost never happens. That just leads to a cycle of procrastination. And I've learned that the longer I let that go on, the harder it becomes to get started. So instead of trying to find another excuse and convincing myself that there will be a perfect moment, I stop the negotiation before it even starts. I remind myself that waiting around for motivation is a losing game. Third tip, do at least the bare minimum. I get it, sometimes we feel so unmotivated that even getting started feels impossible. But here's the thing, do at least the bare minimum. Believe me, it's so much better than doing nothing. Let's assume that you're not in a good mood right now, and you don't want to do anything. Okay, so you don't have to complete the whole task, or even half of it. Just do a little bit. That's it. Even 5% is progress. Like, if you have to write a 1,000 word essay for school, write just 50 words today. If you have a huge project to finish, just open your computer and organize your materials at least. Even that small action can make a difference. You did something, and that adds up over time. When I get to the end of the day, I feel so much better knowing that I did at least something. Sure, maybe I wasn't super productive, I didn't get a lot done, but I didn't completely waste the day either. So I still made some progress, right? When you do a little bit each day, by the end of the week you could actually finish the entire thing without even realizing it. But you know what happens if you do nothing instead? You've still got that whole mountain of work waiting for you. So yeah, doing a little work might seem like nothing in the moment, but when tomorrow comes, you've got less to do, and then a little less the next day. And finally, the last tip, force yourself. You know when you're about to take a cold shower and you hesitate thinking, I'm not ready for this, and you try to ease yourself in by slowly getting under the cold water. Well, this tip is the opposite. It's the just jump in approach. This is actually what you do when the first 3 tips don't work. When you've procrastinated long enough. When you've told yourself 100 times, I'll do it tomorrow. When that happens, you have to force yourself to get shit done. And yeah, I know, it sounds kinda extreme, but it works every single time. Forcing yourself is not fun or easy at all, but you can do it, because you've already done it thousands of times. Think about it. How many things in life do we force ourselves to do because we have to? You wake up for school or work, even when you'd rather stay in bed. So many times you get up, shower, drive, and put in hours. Not because you're motivated, but because it's just what you have to do. That's the harsh truth. Even if you love what you do, you're so passionate about your job, there are many days when you're like, oh fuck this, I don't want to do it. But you know you have no choice, so you force yourself. It's funny, isn't it? We spend so much time searching for motivation hacks, watching videos on productivity hoping to find some tips that'll make things easy. But when it comes down to it, sometimes the only thing that works is forcing ourselves to start. There's this cool rule that I use sometimes called the 5-second rule. Here's how it works. When you don't have any motivation but still need to do something, and you feel that moment of hesitation, count down from 5. And go. Don't think, don't reason with yourself, just move. You might not feel like working, but after that countdown, you're already in motion. I force myself all the time, man, to work, to make videos, to wake up early, which I hate by the way, to exercise, and I was never like, oh, I shouldn't have done it, or I regret that I forced myself to work out today. No, every time I feel happy and grateful that despite my lack of motivation, I got it done. Maybe you don't really like what I'm saying right now and you disagree. You're like, what kind of bullshit is this? What this guy is talking about? Forcing myself? Hell no. However, sooner or later you will have to force yourself. Think about the last time you procrastinated on something until the last possible moment. Now I want to ask you, when that deadline was staring you in the face, did you suddenly feel motivated on the last day? No, you didn't. You still didn't feel like you want to do it. But you forced yourself because you had to. So how about using this same approach when you need to hit the gym, break a bad habit, or stick to a diet? But instead of putting it off until the last moment, force yourself earlier. Now the last thing I want to say. Probably your biggest problem is that you think you need to feel motivated first and only then get things done, when in fact it's the other way around. Many times you have to take action to get motivated. I think you just got stuck in that loop where you're waiting for motivation, but it never comes. So what you need to do is start doing something, anything, because that will create progress, and progress will give you inspiration and motivation. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to check out my previous video right here, and I'll catch you in the next one.